I love starting an evening with a drink. I love the ritual of it. Like, what are we drinking tonight? And that doesn't mean what are we getting hammered on? It's like, what is the ritual that's going to start the evening?
Here at Huckberry, we believe your home is more than just a place to live. It's a reflection of your style, your passions, and the stories of adventures along the way. Join us as we step inside the inspiring spaces of our community that truly embody what it means to live well. This is Huckberry Homes.
I think a home is where you feel most as your unadulterated self, right? You're vulnerable, raw, available. You could be emotional, or you could just be quiet. New York provided me with everything I could ever imagine. It was the most exciting place, but it was tough and anxious-making and crowded and loud. I needed the contrast of that. I need this place as much as I need that place. My name is Matt Hranek. I currently am the editor, founder of W.M. Brown magazine, and an author of a few books, a bunch of them starting out with a man and his, ... I'm an accidental author and a very happy maker of magazines. So we're in Sullivan County, about 2 to 3 hours as the crow flies, slightly north of Manhattan. This is a farm that we bought 22, 23 years ago to be away, to have time to think, to be alone, surrounded by nature. We didn't have any money to build anything right away, so I was up in my hometown, Binghamton. I was going through the penny saver. There was a listing for a 1971 Airstream, and I bought it. So we stripped it, cleaned it up, towed it up here, and we lived in it. You know, we had a refrigerator in the barn, had a telephone in the barn, cooked everything on a Weber. I had an old Braun coffee maker that I still use today, and it was absolutely perfection. I was always obsessed with prefabricated architecture. I was collecting piles and piles of books on it, from Neutra to Marcel Breuer. I was in Milan, and I was working with this architect named Oscar Kaufman, and within 8 hours, they built a 3-bedroom townhouse. That was the coolest thing I ever saw in my life. And I said, Oscar, I have a piece of property in upstate New York. Could we build something like that there? And he was like, took a drag of the cigarette. He was like, yeah, sure. And that was it. 6 months later, 2 tractor trailers showed up and 3 Austrians. And I rented a crane from the local guy, and they built this house. And this house was put together in 4 days. I wanted a glorified, teeny house, but felt like there was just enough livable space. And I think that's what it provides. It's not overindulgent, even though we're probably running out of space. Okay, so this trophy wall is funny because it was kind of inspired by this picture I'd seen in World of Interiors. It was like this Scottish hunting lodge, and the entire interior was just a wall of antlers. So I started collecting taxidermy, kind of creating my own history with this trophy wall. This is a wild boar that I actually hunted in Tuscany with a friend of mine and probably made the best wild boar ragu I ever had in my life. And then these were little found pieces to kind of recreate that trophy wall. I'm absolutely impossible to buy presents for. We, again, were in this amazing bookstore in upstate New York, and this embroidered map of state flowers was in this guy's office. And I tried to buy it. And he was like, oh, I don't know if I want to sell that. And for me, it was such an epic piece of Americana. I just thought, if I was to have a map of America, this flower map I just thought was so cool. Yolanda went back and negotiated and bought this thing. And then for my birthday, gave it to me. And I just was like, I think it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And the thoughtfulness, finally get something that I couldn't buy on my own. I was very impressed by that. This table was made by the Austrian group. He made this dining table, and he made the beds in the bedroom. And basically this table was made to kind of fit these Tonnet school chairs that I found at a thrift store. This is one of my favorite corners of the room. This is the bar cart. I think I love at-home bar carts, and I don't think they need to be overthought or over-complicated. I think you need good glasses. I think you need good gear, strainer, mixer, spoon, whatever, shaker. And I think you need, I don't know, good product, or at least the product you like to get you where you need to go. And I don't think one needs a lot in their bar cart. Like, how many cocktails are you really gonna make? I can tell you what we make here. Negronis, martinis, and the gin is kept in the freezer. And then the rest of the stuff is just drunk straight out of the glass or the bottle. What I love about Negroni and Martini is the simplicity of the ingredients, right? It's a very straightforward combination. It just kind of wakes you up and encourages good spirit and opens up appetite. I mean, the Martini is a different drink. Like, that's the one that's gonna get you out of the gate. Like, that evens everything out and takes away the stresses of the day. And like, I don't drink 10 martinis. I have one martini. Like, my mom thinks I'm on Instagram just drinking Negronis. It's one Negroni. That is a 1940s bottle of Campari. Just to give you a reference, this is sort of modern Campari. And like, you see the color density. This vintage stuff is just other level. This is reserved for only people that like really dedicate their lives to Negronis, like me. Well, I grew up in a big Italian family. The kitchen was the place, right? You were nurtured there, you were loved there, you were told off there, you learned to clean there. It was the hub. It was run by my aunts, and I really enjoyed every part of that process. And also I loved the result. So I think through osmosis, I really learned how to cook from these great women. The Man in the Kitchen is the most personal journey, right? Because it's really about the entertaining and the food memories that were created and the food souvenirs that were brought back to here, to William Brown Farm, and what that meant. And the experiments of how we eat and what found permanence in those menus. Cooking a meal for someone is like one of the greatest gifts that you can give to somebody. A thoughtful, great meal. Done. I don't buy expensive pans. I have a lot of vintage stuff, so I have like a lot of this kind of vintage Scando stuff. If I find a really good Le Creuset from the thrift store, I save it. I have to have it. So I would say a lot of the stuff we have are thrift store finds, and then a hodgepodge of like IKEA standards, which I think are really good. Knives are really important. This is just a hodgepodge of cheap and expensive German knives to a little Japanese line that I did. These were all made in Japan by one artisan. These knives are great. All of these work, have a purpose. I don't need a lot of them, I just need that. I have piles and piles of cutting boards. This one I really love, which is this walnut cutting board, but it's really nice to function off a big board. And I like to work off another big board over here. And like, this is actually one of my favorites. It's a maple board from IKEA. You didn't have to spend a lot of money on it. Like, you could spend a lot of money on a handmade walnut, but you don't need to spend a lot of money on something. And I think wood is the way to go. I don't use plastic. There's a reason why your OG butcher was using wood. If you take care of it, keep it clean, it's the way to go. I unapologetically love drip coffee. I hate Americanos, like watery espresso, I can't stand it. I love this Braun coffee maker from the 80s. It was the first coffee maker I ever owned, and when I'm in thrift stores and there's one that's in good shape with a good carafe, I just buy them. I think I have like 8 downstairs. I think drip coffee in the morning is just fantastic. I don't like to overthink it. The other third of this space is basically for lack of a better word, we'll call it the living room. This again is a kind of just hodgepodge of stuff. The idea when I was talking to these guys about, what kind of built-in furniture, like all I really cared about was bookshelves. This has always been kind of dedicated to cookbooks, from amazing Korean food to Jacques Pepin's method. If you want to learn how to truss a chicken the right way without having to watch YouTube, you could really learn fast right here. So the first cookbook that started it for me, where I really felt like I was really cooking like a serious cook, is this book right here. And this is Marcella Hazan's Italian Kitchen, right? Now, this book has not one photograph, okay? But her description, her prose, her writing, her instruction is so clear and thoughtful. This really made me a better cook. I love baseball caps. It's the only hat I look good in. They're great for daily use. I use them when I go hunting, fishing, whatever. These are some of the top hits. This is from Russ and Daughters in New York, my favorite smoked fish place. This is my buddy's shop in Scotland, Campbell's and Bewley, representing here, upstate New York. This is Kenny Reedart, the local excavator in almost Mossy Oak. That's Advantage camo. That's the hat gear. This is great. This is something they do in France a lot. These are the tops of the champagne. Rather than keeping the cork, you keep the top. There's a lot of bottles of champagne in there. So these are match holders that I started collecting or I was gifted. I just think they're beautiful objects. Like, I love when they have advertising on them, and you would have found these in a cafe in wherever, France, Greece, Paris, Milan. And then I love this space. So this carpet was made by one of the Austrian artisans, and it's basically a felt ravioli. You know, it's stuffed with wool. The dogs love it. I've passed out here many a night with a dog by my side. It is one of the most fantastic, most comfortable additions to the house. That's Prune, who we've tried to keep off the furniture, but I think she's won. Right, Prune? She can care less. These books are really about kind of grabbing that inspiration. These are mostly driven visually, picture books, architectural books, things where you finally have the time to kind of pull down a book and flip through it without a big time commitment, and then it goes back on the shelf. I think dog accessories are really, really tricky. They're either really fluffy and nasty or they're just disposable. And I'm a huge Barber fan. There's a lot of Barbers in my life. We have a quote unquote sporting dog. I think if you're gonna have something in the house, it should be representative of the place and aesthetically be on point. And that's Prune's Barber dog bed. This rhino, which was made by Amersa, these were made originally for Abercrombie & Fitch when Abercrombie & Fitch was a real proper hunting and like lifestyle store. And they made elephants, pigs, a turtle, a bull. And the rhino for me was the holy grail. And they were footstools, decorative objects. I just always loved them. And I particularly love the rhino. So I bought it, and it does make a good footstool. Well, this is the most recent edition of William Brown magazine, W.M. Brown, which conceptually at least was birthed up here, and then hence the name. I used to go to the magazine store and buy 6 different titles of stuff that I liked, you know, from Vanity Fair to GQ, Esquire, Road and Track. And then I was like, well, why can't all of these things be under one umbrella? And that's how William Brown sort of came about, because I like all those things. And I wanted one place to kind of display all of that for whatever our readership. And there it is. This place fueled so many ideas. It became this kind of playground or this think tank of this lifestyle experiment that was happening that became ultimately William Brown and William Brown magazine. This house makes me very, very happy. I'm never bored here. I find it very inspiring. You know, this place is forever. I'm so emotionally invested in this place, and it's just become a deeper, deeper love affair, particularly the environment as the world gets smaller. This place always has this vastness that I need, this breadth. Like I said, I don't need to change anything here, you know?